What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are diving back into Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Delta Astray. Last time we were introduced to the Martian Agnes as he does a tour of the Earth sphere right when the second allinace-plant war breaks out. In this episode, the Delta Astray will be heavily damaged, but we will be introduced to a new mobile suit. Also, we will be introduced to Sven's team of slaughter daggers that we saw in CE-73 Stargazer. So let's get into this. In the past, Mars was occupied by naturals and the Australis colony was created. However, the naturals were struggling to terraform the planet. They reached out to the plants to help them create coordinators with a gene expression that helps them live in the Mars environment, and thus, the first Martians were born. Back in the present on Orb, Agnes and Rondo are having a chat after Rondo stopped him from fighting Kira. Agnes tells Rondo his story, but she is perceptive. She says their war will never make it to Mars, so what is he actually concerned about? The Martians have no choice but to tell Rondo and Reverend Malchio, who is also in the room. Agnes tells them that they recently discovered raw ore on the surface of Mars. They are concerned that EA and plants will come at them for their materials. Rondo, being perceptive, recognizes that only one material would be so desired, the base substance found in the neutron jammer canceller. They don't name what the material is, however. The Atlantic Federation currently controls the reserves of this material on Earth, but if it becomes abundant, nuclear war would most likely break out once again. Rondo says that Agnes is hot-blooded. She tells him that the one who captured Kigali was an associate of hers. She doesn't say his name, but Agnes recognizes that this is Kira Yamato. Rondo suggests that perhaps the idea that Agnes has of Kira as the savior might not paint the whole story of his character. Phantom Pain is making its way to Orb. Just as many have thought, they are going to pressure Orb to side with the EA. As a side note, they are still considered the EA, but the Atlantic Federation is in complete control. Since Operation Spitbreak, many of the Eurasian forces became rebels. Sven is with Zhao Qin, talking to royal family member Unato Seirin, father of Yuna Seirin. Also, I think I referred to this member as Joaquin just because of the spelling in many places, but I think it's Zhao Qin. Agnes flashes back to his youth. He is fighting with other students when Herschel comes in and gets everyone to be friendly. Herschel mentions that his genes were manipulated to be an empathetic person. Agnes introduces himself and Herschel is excited. He seems to be the future leader of Australis, but Agnes doesn't seem like he wants the role. Agnes is a very grim person unlike Herschel, so together they are the perfect balance. Agnes snaps out of his flashback when his phone rings. Isaac tells them that the Acidalium was sent a message from the Orb government to leave immediately. Somewhere on Orb, we meet the Slaughter Dagger pilots. We discussed this in our Stargazer video, but the Slaughter Dagger is a customized 01A1 dagger. It is black due to its laminated armor. Each pilot has a different striker pack on their Slaughter Daggers. Hoskin Gira Sakoto, aka Cougar 4, uses the Sword Striker. Vanfield Rhea Lindsay, known as Panther 2, is using the L Striker pack. Guard Del Hokua, aka Tiger 5, is using the Lightning Striker. This striker pack is designed to increase the battery life of striker units. It was originally designed for the Strike Rouge and the OG Strike, but after being damaged, it was repaired by Orb and is now used on the Slaughter Dagger. It also has a Type 70-31 electromagnetic cannon. Wade Rabi Nagata, aka Jaguar 1, uses the IWS-P Striker. This thing is like a mini meteor system. It has anti-ship swords, two 115mm railguns, and a 105mm cannon, as well as a 30mm 6-barrel Gatling gun. Kigali was initially unable to use this striker pack. The data of this pack was used to create the Strike Noir pack. And finally, SARS Sim Aliyah, aka Leopard 4, is using the Launcher Striker. Commanding this team is Phantom Pain member Sven. In the Strike Noir, the team heads out. Even though he pilots the Strike Noir, I want to use this opportunity to talk about the Strike E. The GAT X-105E Strike E is a part of the Action project by EA and Action. Stargazer goes into more detail about this project. The E stands for Enhanced, as this is still a regular old Strike with better AI and better power efficiency. It is designed to be piloted by naturals. This unit has variable shift armor, unlike the original Strike, which only has phase shift armor, and of course it has striker hardpoints. It is equipped with Vulcans, a beam rifle Shorty, which is a shortened version of the standard beam rifle. It also uses a 57mm high-energy beam rifle and a grenade launcher. The weird tips on the shoulders are actually extra thrusters for improved mobility. As the Acidalium is leaving, they are met with Wade and the Slaughter Dagger. Agnes heads out in the Delta Gundam, As he goes in, the dagger uses its ISWP pack. We find out that he was originally supposed to use the Jet Striker, but wanted to use Kigali's personal striker pack to impress her. He seems to be set on stealing Kigali from Yuna. This character expressed his feelings about Kigali more so than Athrun does throughout all of Destiny. Sven gives him permission to use the striker pack. Vanfeld comes in and uses his sword striker. Isaac wants to go back to Orb, but Agnes doesn't want to get their nation involved. So Isaac and Herschel decides to go help. While 3 of the Slaughter Daggers are taking on the Delta Astray, 2 are focusing their attention on the Acidalium. Guard also protested his original Doppelhorn striker pack for the Lightning pack. Guard and another fires their beam cannon on the shore right towards the Acidalium. It misses. The Mars tank and the Baku Hound are on top of the Acidalium when the ship comes to an abrupt stop. Isaac falls off of the ship to find that one of the strikers is trying to sink it. Hoskin, using the sword striker, goes in and attacks Herschel using his Mars tank. He says that the mobile armor is no match for his mobile suit. Herschel transforms to reveal its true form, the Guard Shell. The GSF YAM-02 Guard Shell is the second mobile suit created by Mars. It actually takes the shape of the Mars tank referred to as tripod mode, but this is its real form. It is designed to work with the Delta Astray, as Delta acts as the offensive unit and the Guard Shell works as the defensive unit. It is equipped with a beam gun, which is what we saw fired last episode. The Trisaucer transforms into a shield and contains a laser sword, rocket anchor, and an anchor sword. Meanwhile, Isaac goes in and attacks the mobile suit on the shore. He is able to take out Guard. Delta Gundam uses its Vulture Lumiere system and becomes a speed demon. He is able to disable Wade's striker. As it falls, Sven comes in and steals his striker pack to create the Strike Gundam IWSP. Sven strikes down the Delta Astray, pun intended. Herschel watches as Agnes falls into the ocean. We flash back to 5 years ago where we meet the professor before manning the home. She finds an escape pod and calls Kenneth to see if he has any information on pods like this. He only tells her that it is an old model. The professor resuscitates the woman to find that it is Satona Winters. Agnes wakes up to find that he is on the Acidalium. He was defeated by Sven, but is still alive. Agnes is devastated, but Herschel tells him that their genes are modified based on their missions. Since he failed at his mission, it is tantamount to having failed genes. Isaac says that he is also a coordinator with modified genes, but it doesn't work like that and still requires effort. Martians are quite the perfectionists. Agnes remembers when his people gifted him the Delta. They tell him that Delta means gate and throws him a metaphor about being the gate to the people of Mars. Agnes believes that he is closed that gate. In between Gibraltar and Carpinteria, in the depths of the ocean, is Zaft Ocean Floor Base, Lagash. It is technically just a bunch of old Zaft subs connected together to make a base. As Agnes gets medical attention, Isaac goes to repair the Delta Gundam, but that causes Herschel to freak out. It appears that he knows more than everyone else. Agnes gets up and demands Herschel to tell him everything he knows. Herschel tells them that the people of Mars designed Delta to collect and gather data from the Terrans. If anything were to happen to the unit, it would not only self-destruct Delta, but also the Acidalium. They were lucky it didn't go off during the previous battle. Not only that, if the Acidalium doesn't return by its planned date, it will also self-destruct. They don't want the Terrans to have the technology of the Delta Gundam. Agnes feels betrayed by Herschel. Hey, weren't you in pain a few moments ago? The Zaft base is currently monitoring the Archangel and notices that a Martian mobile suit is approaching the ship. This is Diego Lowell, but he is piloting the Mars Jacket. The MMF-JG73MJ Mars Jacket is a mobile suit armor created by Australis. It is just a civilian Astray JG custom, which we will see in Stargazer, but they are essentially junkyard mobile workers. When the Mars Jacket is put on, it is then equipped with Vulcans, a beam twin sword rifle, a sword, a beam cannon, and a beam barrier, which is just shields. This is the same Mars Jacket that the Red Frame wears as well. The only difference, of course, is the Gerbera Strait. Now remember, at the end of Destiny Astray, Lo no longer had the Red Frame, and we saw it in action during the Break the World incident. We can assume that this was Diego the entire time. Last episode, we ended with Diego spying on Lo and the Martians, so we can assume he snatched it. He sends out an open broadcast saying that he is coming for Lacus. The Acidalium emerges from the water. Suddenly, a bright light appears from above. It is the Vulture Lumiere system. Out of the sky emerges the Turn Delta. The MMF-JG73L Turn Delta is based off of the Astray JG Custom. This unit runs on battery, unlike Delta. It also has independent atmospheric flight capabilities, and like the original, has the Voltier Lumiere system. The suit is equipped with a beam rifle, 2 beam sabers fixed on the arms, and 2 Lumiere shields, a beam shield, as well as 2 golden movable arms at the back of the suit. The pilot says she is here to open a new gate for her people. Agnes recognizes her voice. It is Satona Winters. It seems that Diego has been tasked with watching over Satona. Sorry, these are Martians. He wasn't tasked. His genes were modified to protect her. He apologizes for failing her. Being the older sister, she was actually the one that was supposed to lead Australia's colony, but she wanted to go out on her own path and help people, but she couldn't do that on Mars, so she ran away. The ship that she boarded had an accident, and she escaped in a stasis pod. Of course, we know that the professor picked her up, but since she was in stasis for 5 years, she hasn't grown at all. This is why she looks younger than Agnes. Isaac tells Diego that Lacus is on the plants, but Diego yells at him and tells him that the Lacus on the plants is a fake. Satona came to give the Turn Delta to Agnes. It was a gift from Lo. Satona and Herschel have a conversation. Essentially, she tries to convince Herschel that one can rise above their genes. The rest of this scene is a series of metaphors about controlling your own fate. Essentially, Agnes, Herschel, Satona, and Diego will form their own team and forge their own path, even if it causes Mars to hate them. Back with Phantom Pain, the team is getting briefed on a new mission. Sven wants to continue pursuing the Martians. Zhao Chen mentions that a new unit has been assigned to the Martians. On the battlefield, 2 units destroy a ZAF team. They are now ready to take down the Martians. We will talk about these 2 mysterious units next time, but you could tell they are variants of Gundams we have seen before. Back on the Acidalium, Satona has once again disappeared. Diego goes to find her at a mansion. She says that this mansion belongs to the people who took care of her when she first came to Earth. Diego looks up to see a picture of Mattias and Prayer. Remember, Mattias self-destructed a ship carrying him and his sister, killing their bloodline. And Prayer died due to a cloning illness in the hands of Canard Parnes. But it seems that Prayer and Mattias are somehow connected. Diego promises to take care of Satona the same way these people helped her when she was on Earth. They continue cleaning the mansion. And that will do it for this episode. We are starting to bridge the gap between the rest of the Cosmic Era with the events of Stargazer. Next time, we will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Delta Astray as Lo and Jess return to help out the Acidalium crew. We will also talk about the enemy mobile suits that were teased in this read. But that will do it for now, coordinators. Remember that if you destroy your Gundam in the Cosmic Era, don't worry, someone will deliver you a new one soon. Peace.